Hello everybody, welcome back to another Mortal Jellyfish video. Now today's video we will be talking about should you buy Baker, or I guess in a sense Baker's free pretty often, so should you be playing Baker when he's free, I guess is another thing this video could answer for you. That said, he did get a buff. I was already interested in making this video before he got a buff, but he got a buff, which just makes it that much more interesting to make. And those buffs were making his speed pie go from 20% to 30% movement speed, so now you're a bit faster with the speed pie. And then they buffed the apple heal from 20 health to 30 health. So 30 health, that's a pretty big heal. And yeah, those are the buffs that Baker got. On that note, I do make Bed Wars content almost every day, so make sure to like and subscribe for more Bed Wars content. On that note, guys, we are going to hop into some Baker gameplay here and follow our typical guideline of pros, cons, and then at the end of the video, my opinion on should you buy or not. That's it. Let's hop into the video. Okay, so as we get some Baker gameplay rolling out here, now I do just want to know I'm not wearing the kit skin in this gameplay because, you know, I'm just celebrating that new 10,000 subscriber merch, which I love so much. It looks very nice. Anyway, so that's why we're not wearing the kit skin because we're just enjoying that new merch look. But yeah, that said, let's hop into the pros and cons here. So I got 5 pros and 4 cons for this kit. Now, all the pros, we're going to start off talking about the apple and the pros the apple gives, and then we're going to talk about speed pies and the pro that speed pie kind of gives you. Okay, so first off, obviously the first pro is you can buy an apple that heals you for 30 HP, so you have a source of healing. Sources of healing are very, very strong in Bed Wars. Whether people want to believe it or not, they are very nice to have, and they can help you win a lot of fights if you have healing, like Reaper or Trinity. Next up, though, our second pro is based off apples. You can win more fights due to healing. So let's say you're in a fight and you're able to get enough time to eat an apple. That's basically an extra 30 HP, and depending on what armor you are in, that could be like anywhere between like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 hits in higher end game armor. So 30 healing is definitely a big deal. That is a lot, and it could help you could lead you into winning a lot more fights with Baker. And the next thing is you can, the third pro is going to be you can get your health back up for a fight. So there's scenarios where, you know, you're sitting there in your base, somebody just rushed you, you fought him off, and then you have like 40 HP or something like that, and you see another guy coming, and you're like, oh man, if only I could regenerate my health a little bit faster so I could be ready for this fight. I've noticed that if you're there and you got the 30 iron, just buy yourself an apple, eat it, and then you're ready for that next fight. And the enemy will think you're low, and then in return you kill them because you ate an apple. So yeah, that's another good perk to apples. Healing overall, big thumbs up. It's really nice. And that's going to move us into the speed pies, which is our fourth pro here. And that's that the speed pies are going to give you 30% movement speed buff. You don't have to say much more about that, but we're going to move into our fifth pro here where we talk about it a little bit. Basically, this is going to allow you to outmaneuver, out-rotate people. That 30% movement speed can allow you to pull off some really, really good plays. Because of that movement speed, people are going to think you have speed hacks, though, so be careful with that one. People do think speed pie is speed hack sometimes, and it's not all the time. So there's some speed hackers, but that's their story. Anyways, speed pies will allow you to outmaneuver people. You can outrun them. You can hunt them down. Basically, all the good stuff movement speed allows you to abuse. You can get away from people. You can hunt them, like I said. You can outmaneuver people. So you see somebody mid, you can rush their base before they can get back there. Even a few times I've seen weaker opponents, and I'll just run through enemies with the speed pie to get through them and then get their weaker teammate and stuff. So speed helps a lot, and it also, I've noticed, it helps a decent bit in sword fighting as well. I feel like when you have a speed pie on it, it's a bit better because you can outmaneuver your enemy with that speed as well when you're fighting them, so they may miss more hits if you're smart with how you move yourself. And that said, that's going to be all of our pros for this, and we're just going to quickly move into our cons here. Now I got 4 cons here, but yeah, I think they're pretty important to note. So the first con is that spending iron on consumables is going to put you behind. So obviously apples cost 30 iron and they're a consumable. So after you spend that 30 iron and you eat that apple, boom, it's gone. So early game, if you're eating apples early game, you're putting yourself behind on things like leather and iron upgrades, iron armor upgrades, leather and iron armor upgrades, or swords perhaps. So eating apples, you know, it's good and it heals you a lot, but I feel like you can also put yourself behind or in a bad spot if you're eating too many apples too early on in the game. So make sure not to overeat too many apples, in other words, you're costing yourself armor upgrades and other things. And that's going to move us into our second con, which is just related to the same thing, but emeralds now. Speed pie is going to cost you 2 emeralds. It is a consumable, so you eat it once and it is gone. And it lasts, I don't know, I think it lasts for like 3 to 5 minutes or something. It lasts for a good while. I thought it was almost permanent for one point, but I actually found out that if you run around long enough, it's not permanent. But yeah, so speed pie, you know, it's a consumable, and it's 2 emeralds. 2 emeralds, you know, I mean, you could buy balloons or pearls, but those are both technically a consumable too. But you know, those to me can be really useful too. So what's better? Speed pie for more movement speed on the ground, balloons for being able to fly around or save yourself, or pearls, which can instantly teleport you somewhere basically. So that's the hard part for me when I play Baker. It's really, do I want to have balloons, a speed pie, or a pearl? And as somebody who doesn't play Baker a lot, I'm not too fond of buying the pie over like balloons or pearls. I prefer those other two options more. So yeah, speed pies are good, but in a sense you could also have two other style of movement speed items that the pie is not giving you. So even though the pie is really strong, I feel like it kind of falls off in the sense that there's already two other movement speed based or movement helping items for 2 emeralds in the shop as well. If speed pies were like 1 emerald or something, I could see them being top notch, like, you know, 1 emerald and I get that movement speed buff. But, you know, I could spend 2 emeralds on a pie, or I could spend 2 emeralds on balloons or pearls. So it's kind of hard sometimes to debate which one you want. I know a lot of the times I end up picking like balloons or a pearl over the pie though. The pie is fun though at times. It is fun to use. But that's also the other thing, you're putting yourself behind regardless when you buy the pie, because you could be buying like a diamond or emerald armor or swords. So yeah, that could also put you behind as well. That said, we're not going to stick on that one too long, so let's move into our third con here, and that's food takes a little time to eat. Now, this isn't a long timer. I think it's like 1 or 2 seconds. It's really short. But, you know, we do have to count it. You do have to spend like a minute or two eating your pie or your apple. Typically, you're eating pies before you're engaged in fight, but typically you want to eat an apple during a fight or after a fight. So, you know, it could be a little crucial that time can get you in a little bit of trouble. But yeah, you most certainly can eat. It takes a little bit of time to eat those, but yep. And that's going to move us into our fourth con here, and that is you kind of need to be out of the fight to make apple worth it, I say, because, I mean, it's like 1 or 2 seconds, and if you're just in the fight trying to eat an apple mid-fight, they're just going to be hitting you with a sword, so you're not really going to heal 30 health. You might get a little gain out of it, but not much, because you're just being chopped up. Early game 20 damage wood swords are obviously going to make your apple worth nothing, because they're going to deal more damage than the apple. So typically you either need to build up and get out of the fight and eat an apple, or you need to kill the person and get out of the fight, or maybe just outrun them and eat an apple. So, I mean, if you paired that speed pie with that apple, it would be pretty good, but you could also pair jumping off with balloons or something, eating an apple, and it would be good too, or even pearling away and eating an apple, you know. So like I said, all those movement speed items kind of blend together at the same time. That said, we're going to move into the should you buy portion of this video, so I will see you guys over there. So now that we're in the should you buy portion of this video, where it's more of my opinion here, of course you don't ever have to agree with my opinion, but yeah, I mean, here's my opinion on it. To me, speed pie, everybody thinks that's the best part of Baker. To me, it is not the best part of Baker. I think the apples are the better part of Baker. Now, hear me out. I say this because with, like I said earlier in the video, speed pies could also be the same emerald cost for balloons or a pearl. And yeah, even though pie works longer and you get speed boost, pearl will get you somewhere faster, in a sense. Short term, you know, you get there faster, but you obviously would be out sooner because the chef could, or baker, the baker could keep running. And then you would be out of pearls. But, or like balloons, you can save yourself off the map, you can fly down and TNT a base, I don't know. The pie to me is hard to justify for 2 emeralds in a sense, because all you're getting is a speed boost, and you could be playing something like Jade, where a hammer will give you that speed boost you want, and then you're not out anything, except 40 iron for your hammer. And so 2 emeralds, I don't know, I'd like to see pies move to like 1 emerald price tag, because then there'd be a little bit more justifiable, because I feel like balloons and pearls just kind of outclass the pie, a little bit in my opinion. I feel like they're a little bit better. Now, if you have obviously an abundance of emeralds, you could buy both and then just get the best of both worlds, but most of my games end rather early on, so I don't get that many emeralds, so, you know, it's like 1 set of balloons is a guaranteed bed for me, and that's just what I go for. So, that said, apples are pretty good. The 30 healing is pretty strong. You know, you can
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
You can heal out of combat. You mean you can heal in combat, it's a bit harder though. But I mean, the healing's pretty decent. But if we've already kind of null and voided out speed pies as the fact that balloons or pearls are more in favor of what I want to use personally, and then if we're just talking about the healing, I don't know. I think I might like Reaper or Trinity better for a healing kit. And so that said, I personally think Baker's in that middle part for me. Some people love it, some people hate it, but to me he's in the middle ground, you know. He's kind of nice to have, he's fun to play with the speed pies a little bit, but to be honest, I think I'd rather have a different kit. I don't think Baker's bad by any means, but I don't think it's the kit for me, as like I said, the biggest part of him is the speed pies, and with the 2 emerald cost, I'd rather just have a set of balloons or a pearl. Yeah, so, I mean, should you buy it or not? I mean, that really just comes up to you guys. Like, for me personally, I don't think I'm the biggest fan of it, but it's not bad either. Like, the kit's decent, but it's not, like, crazy good or anything like that. So yeah, it's in that middle place for me. And on that note, guys, thanks for watching. And yeah, let's thank our members. So thank you Insolence Axolotl, Redwood Deadwood, and Mama Peas for being members of the channel. It does help out a ton. And on that note, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.